Welcome back. Now we're going to talk to the outstanding field hockey coach at Indiana University, Amy Robertson. And Coach, I don't think a lot of people know this, but you actually started the program from scratch and had to drop into one of the great conferences in the country for your sport. Talk about that process.
Well, it was first a great opportunity to come and become a coach at Indiana University. And it was a challenge. I mean, every single day we couldn't focus on the outcomes because I was hired in April and we started competition in the Big Ten Conference in August of the same year. So it was crazy. I mean, it was absolutely baptism by fire, but it was exciting, you know, because the only way to go for us was up. It's a win-win situation.
Team took its lumps very early on in that process, but then you started taking the team to the NCAA tournament. Speak about some of the players along the way that helped you build this program.
Well, you have to think about what kind of players can be successful, you know, given this situation. The first thing I looked for were high school players who were used to winning, because I didn't want them to come to Indiana, you know, experience some failure and then become complacent and expect that. So that was really big. We had players like Ryan Woolsey from St. Louis, Kayla Bayshore from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, some other Pennsylvania players like Morgan Miller, Lydia Schrott. All three of those went on to become All-Americans. And then I had a scattering. I had some California, Leslie Weiler, another Pennsylvania, Mallory Raybould, and they were just fighters. They were so upset about losing, even though our talent level realistically wasn't at a place yet where we could compete against some of these top 10 teams and Big Ten teams. And they just fought. They focused on what they could do to get better. And they started as freshmen. So by the time, you know, those classes came through, they had more experience than any other Big Ten team. And that really helped us finally get to that level and stay at that level.
You mentioned Kayla Bayshore. She was on Team USA on the Olympic team in London. You went overseas to watch her. How proud were you as a coach?
It was just amazing. I mean, it's one thing to watch it on TV, which is something I had to do in the last Olympics when she was in Beijing. But seeing it in person and being there and hugging her after the game, and I was just so proud. You know, she's the only player that represented the Big Ten in the Olympics this year and the last one. And, you know, it's amazing that she comes from Indiana and she's a core player. She's key. And, you know, she's one of the top players in the world, not just the USA. So that was really exciting.
One of my favorite all-time student athletes at IU is a student athlete who played field hockey. One of the 4 student athletes in IU history to win the Rhodes Scholarship. Mutsa Matembwa. Speak to what kind of kid she was.
Mutsa just keeps life in great perspective. You know, every day was a great day. She really, you know, she comes from South Africa, from Zimbabwe specifically, and, you know, it's a rough time growing up in that environment, in that country where the government is, you know, not protecting the people and trying to find food. And so she already comes with such mental toughness that, you know, just to be here every day, she took advantage of that opportunity and she really enjoyed competing. It wasn't something, she's a competitor, but you would think, God, you need to take it more seriously. But she stayed in the flow in the moment, and I think she was a great example to our other players of making the most of something and taking advantage of that opportunity every day.
Last question for you real quick. Your team's ranked in the top 25, off to a great start. Nice young team you've got.
It is a young team. We only graduate 1 senior and then a grad student who's been with the program for 2 years who plays in goal, Vicky Green, and then the 5th year is Morgan Fleetwood, who's one of our top players, and really doing a great job of leading this young team and kind of putting aside her own self-interest and trying to you know, do what she can to make our team better. And our team, you know, I think it's sometimes a nice place to be when there's not a lot of pressure, not a lot of expectation, that you can just play and continue to get better without, we have to win this game or we have to be this. You know, the focus is really on the process rather than, you know, where are we going to be in a month? What are we doing today? And that's it. And the team has, I think, a very strong bond, so that helps us a lot as well. Anyone can spend time with anyone and be happy. You know, we don't have those cliques and any kind of negative feelings going on. So it's fun, and it's a lot of fun to be around them. They're a fun team. It's nice to hear their conversations. Really kind of keeps life a little lighter, the way they think about daily things. I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited for this upcoming weekend. We get our second test at Michigan State, and I think it's going to be a great matchup.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, as always.